Hi, I'm Dick.
And I'm Eric, and we're the Annuity guys.
Eric, one of the most universal concerns out there.
Probably one of the biggest ones.
And it's not just people that don't have a lot of money, it's even the people that have a lot of money, is what if I live too long or outlive my money? Or
everybody's afraid of running out of money. It's the uncertainty of knowing that you're going to have enough money for the rest of your life. It'd be nice if we all know the exact drop dead, the date,
no pun intended,
literally the drop dead date on all of us. If we had just a little watch with a countdown clock on, and we knew exactly when we spend your last dollar, you walk out. Wouldn't that be easier to calculate?
Exactly. But what makes it so much harder nowadays, really, and I guess really we never could really have a drop dead. But what makes it so much harder is people are just living longer.
Well, the unanticipated consequences of medical technology that's better. Eating, we're more conscious of the things that are bad for us, so all of a sudden we're doing the right things, and one of the unintended consequences of all these things that we're doing right is we're going to live longer. And so that means you have to have probably worked longer or saved more.
Well, and so many people tend to judge that incorrectly. I mean, you go back to that Michigan study, I remember.
Yeah, the longitudinal study where they track people over different periods.
Yeah, and how long do you think you're going to live? And, half of them were wrong, so they wouldn't live past a certain age, and they did.
Yeah, the number of people and this is what I love, they thought they would live to 75, and the number of people that said there's no chance at all I'll live past 75.
80.
Half of them are still here.
Yeah, exactly.
So 50% of the people that didn't think they would be here are here. And so do you think they saved enough money? Well. And that's the question. So how do you anticipate what you have to save and what you're going to need? Now,
exactly.
In the pension world, when everybody got a pension, you didn't have to worry. You didn't have to worry about it.
No.
Now, Social Security has been a nice base for a lot of people.
Right.
But a lot of people...
It's supposed to just be a supplement.
As you say, they don't have their entire retirement comfort level being met by Social Security.
Exactly.
So as we enter this 401k world where you're responsible now for your own retirement, or a big piece of it...
Sure. Well, and exactly, and folks do have to be very careful. I mean, we've had folks, call us and just say, "Hey, I just want a 10-year annuity. I'm XYZ, and I probably won't live. But what if you do? So you got to think about it, and then I think about how you make your money last and how you know that your money's going to last, and that's where annuities really come in.
Exactly. You look at the positive aspect of longevity pooling, and everybody's going, "What the heck are you talking about longevity?" Well, you look at the risk of living too long. Yep. Well, if you take a bunch of people, you put them all in the big kind of saucer and say, the people that don't live as long, they're unfortunate, they didn't live a long life.
Right.
Well, their dollars are going to be carried over to the people that do live a long life.
Exactly.
And so you're able to get leverage from that bucket of people that are living longer than they expected to.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Eric, when you think about, folks that have really done a good job throughout their life, saving their money, investing, this type of thing, they're more conscientious people as a rule.
Oh, sure.
They take better care of themselves. So statistically, they're going to outlive most people.
Right. And so we're looking at different ways of allocating the portfolio to really help offset that uncertainty and that risk.
Right.
There's a lot of studies out there about different ways you can manipulate your portfolio. We've talked a lot about the 4% rule.
Yes.
Well, we're big fans of Wade Pfau's study where he talks about the different ways of kind of utilizing annuities instead of bonds. And we know bonds have been the traditional kind of volatility control.
Yeah, a little bit of a safety aspect to your portfolio.
Yeah. But what the annuity does when you replace kind of that bond allocation, it has that same kind of moderation impact on the overall portfolio.
Right.
But it brings along these added benefits, bonds with bonus benefits, where you can get lifetime income or, those guarantees associated with annuities that don't come with bonds that can help alleviate some of that uncertainty that what if I live too long?
Exactly. And so, that really does give you a way to reduce that uncertainty or which even translates into fear at times. Sure. And Wade Pfau, when he talks about bonds and using annuities, he kind of goes a couple of different ways. He'll look at immediate annuities.
His big focus is really on the immediate annuity because I
Right,
think it's easier
right.
to kind of gauge, and it does really have a larger payout typically, a little bit more risk pooling as far as starting income immediately.
Yes. But if you're going to start income and defer it a little bit, then you've got to run the other numbers because you can actually, he goes into the variable annuities and the income riders. But as we've found, the fixed annuities with the income riders and indexed annuities tend to do a better job, and they're more competitive.
Well, when you're looking at having a better guarantee, as we know with a variable annuity, you're really looking at some of the underlying sub accounts and getting the growth from those investment style accounts to really capitalize on getting the best income possible.
Yes.
What we found with the fixed and the fixed indexed annuities is that you have the ability to add those income rider guarantees, which creates usually a larger set of guaranteed income because they're able to set those predictable numbers in place based off those guarantees.
Well, your money isn't invested in securities directly. You're not relying solely on the securities, and what they do. You literally, like you say, you have contractual guarantees. And so you kind of, also compared to the immediate annuity, you kind of get your cake and eat it too because...
we like to think so. Because you've got majority control. I mean, we're real fond of saying majority control. You don't, in the early years, you're going to have a surrender period typically on a fixed or a fixed, and even on a variable.
But you still control the majority.
You're going to control the majority of your money.
Eventually all of it.
Eventually you get access to all the cash accumulation values typically. And so having that control, and that's really what people want in retirement. They don't like the idea of giving all your money to the insurance company and just putting it on a salary. But if you have the ability to have some guarantees, knowing that you can't outlive your money, and then if something does happen, knowing that those dollars will be passed on to your heirs and beneficiaries, that really does kind of create that cake and eat it too scenario.
I think, Eric, one of the things that, as folks are trying to, ponder, how to set all of this up, we like to take the approach of the outcome-based planning and realize that there's several different ways using annuities, even maybe not using annuities, that you can still spell success, for your retirement.
There is no one correct scenario.
Exactly.
There's not just one way to get from point A to point B. There are multiple ways of doing it. We like to incorporate that goal, though, as part of the outcome. And let's look at the different strategies for success and how we can work to achieve those. Can we do it with guarantees? Do we need guarantees plus potential? And looking at factors in for inflation and what we expect. All those different pieces, we toss them all into the equation and look at the possible outcomes for success.